IGN Live at E3, streaming to you on e3.ign.com and youtube.com/E3. And speaking of shameless promotion, be sure to bookmark e3.ign.com. It's your best place for all of our news and video updates, which is a lot. Okay, now we have a special treat for you. Famed voice actors Troy Baker and Travis Williamson are here to talk about their roles in Infamous Second Son. Let's get to it. Greg?
As I live and breathe, Troy Baker, Travis Willingham. Travis Willingham.
Willingham.
Willingsum?
Willing, anything with a willing in front of it.
You're going to be a big star after this, Travis, so it doesn't matter how you pronounce it.
That's right, yeah. Huge, enormous.
Look at you two here. Me and Troy Baker reunited.
I remember this
so
couch.
Good. Yeah, it's been a while. This is where we first met, where we first fell in love. First other things.
Wow,
A lot of
you
firsts
and
happen
couches,
here.
huh?
But I'm sick of talking about firsts. Let's talk about seconds.
Hey.
Infamous Second Son.
Good second.
Greg Way.
First off, you know, Eric Layden, he was the voice
Yes.
of Cole in Infamous 2. He had a kid in between
Yes.
that game and this game, and now that child can't eat because of you two.
Because of
Right,
us.
Lending
right.
your no. Infamous Second Son, it's a new start for the franchise in a lot of ways. Troy, you're playing this guy with super smoke powers. Tell me all about Delsin.
It's kind of a new thing. You know, this is something we're bringing new to the Infamous universe, and Infamous 1 and 2 both were wildly successful. As a gamer, I loved
Hell
playing
yeah.
it. And one thing that we're doing differently in this is it's introducing a new character that's, instead of this being kind of a burden that he's, has to bear, this is something that he's actually loving about it, these powers, and it's a new thing that we can actually absorb from a game mechanic standpoint, being able to absorb powers and kind of explore these from a fun thing. So that element is fun playing this. It's definitely more fluid through the environment with the smoke powers,
Yeah.
being able to like smoke dash up like you saw in the trailer. So yeah, it's kind of it's in the same universe, but it's really kind of a new story that we're doing.
Sure. And then, Travis, I'm sure you have super cool powers too.
Oh man, tons. I have the super cool power of the pistol in my holster.
That's right,
And
Reggie.
the,
Reggie is Delsin's brother here,
That's
older
right, yeah.
brother.
So, yes, the condescending older brother.
And a cop.
Judging.
He
Always
seems to be a
judging.
cop from the trailer. Am I getting that?
That's right, yeah.
I used my intuition powers on that one. Yeah, I did.
Very good,
Thank
very
you
good.
very much. Tell me a bit about then your relationship in the game.
Right, very, very tight-knit family. They've lost their parents. Reggie is Delsin's older brother, and he is constantly trying to keep Delsin from going astray, breaking the law, making the family look bad, that sort of thing. And
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
been sort of a disappointment. And so it's kind of been Reggie's job to be the moral compass for Delsin. And with this new development, it kind of makes their brotherhood go to a new level,
Yeah.
because all of a sudden now one is not in charge of the other. One is shooting smoke out of his hand.
And hilarity ensues.
Now, I'm out on the town last night, painting it red. I run into this bald gentleman, Nate Fox.
Yes.
And he tells me a little bit about how you guys you got started in this role, this pairing.
Right.
And it turns out you're best friends in real life.
Well, don't declare it or anything. But
You were his best man at his wedding.
that's correct, and he was also in my wedding as well.
Oh, but not best man, huh? Smarts. That's
Well, I had a real brother.
No, we were talking about this. This is actually interesting because this whole thing started a year ago.
Yeah,
A year ago.
here.
Yeah, it was
Started here.
How'd
yeah.
that happen?
Well,
We were running around looking at some other games, and there was a casting person for Sony that was like, "Man, I really want to try and get Travis in here." And then she was asking, who do you have kind of a brotherly relationship with? And I was like, "Wow, that's almost not a fair question." I mean,
This young voice actor, you probably never heard of him. He hasn't been in much.
yeah, I
Sure,
mean,
man.
this guy Troy Baker, if we could get him some work, that'd be great. I know that he's begging on the corner with a cop. I feel really bad for him.
Yeah,
Can we
yeah.
bring him out of the rain and maybe put him in front of the mocap cameras?
And then you got in there.
it was great. I mean, the auditioning process is always just this terrible thing, but the two of us actually getting in there, it became evident to us, especially to them, that it's like, if you want to sell this brotherly relationship, it's to have that organically walking in, because the relationship is huge in this game.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about watching the trailer, me and Colin Moriarty, this other Infamous fan you might know, we did a rewind theater on it right before I came over here, and we were both talking about how great the facial animations look,
Yeah.
and how you can already see Sucker Punch growing up in a lot of ways and
yeah.
telling a story visually and cinematically.
Yeah.
And can you talk? I know they built a mocap studio for right before this game to get going. Was that bringing you both in? Was that a big thing for them?
The process that they're doing is something that's completely new, and what I love is whenever text serves the story, whenever it serves a specific purpose, and with this, it's a very emotional game. It's a very game that's based on relationship, and it's something that's very nuanced. Past Infamous and a lot of games out right now are very, very, it's a superhero game,
Right.
essentially. So they're wanting to kind of keep it a little bit more grounded and a little bit more attainable and something that's more relatable. And you need those slight nuances. So it wasn't just about, like, well, let's show off this shiny new tech, but it's like, we need this so that we can really capture these performances because we want people to be connected to these characters.
Right.
So yeah, it was a first for both. We've done mocap and facial cap, but it was something really different.
Yeah, the tech they have there, it's really, really cutting edge. So every little smirk that he throws or every little frown that I get back
Troy
to
Baker smirk?
Well,
What are you talking
every now
about?
and then. Yeah, it's been a real experience over there because it allows you to be as free as you want in your performances, and you don't have to really try to show any emotion. You can just, I can be as irritated with him as I want to be,
Which is often.
comes so
Yeah.
naturally.
Yeah, I loved the scene in the trailer when you're driving in the truck, and Colin turned to me, he's like, "You understand that, like, Cole couldn't get into cars before. Like, this is like, it's already humanizing and making it a character that you can get behind and understand."
Right.
And then the fact when you go up to do the orbital strike, he has a giant grin on his face right before he comes in.
so good.
And like you're like, oh yeah, Cole was always pissed off that he had power.
No, this is just like, bring it on!
First time we saw it, he launches into the air. We were sitting there, we're like, get it!
Get down, son. Take him out. What you doing?
was
You
really
seem like
great.
fun characters to play then.
It's been awesome. You know, I mean, we're both gamers, we're both nerds, so, you know, to be a part of something like this is cool, and to be able to play opposite off of each other. And they really, Sucker Punch is really good about giving us a lot of latitude, and we play jazz on every take,
Yeah.
so
I mean,
they've
it's-
been
yeah.
cool with us bringing something into the scene.
I mean, being able to throw, you know, Troy has that, he has a lot of music, you know, he's in a band, was in a band, plays music all the time, so that influence for that character is so great, and then to constantly just kind of steer him in the right direction really lets us just kind of, like you said, play jazz and whatever the scene is, you know, what it's doing. It's really, really great.
I mean, do you feel like you had an upper hand coming in, that you were so close already, that's I mean, it was
Yeah,
even easier
Absolutely.
to do?
Yeah.
And not to say that anybody else that would have done this, it would have been a different thing.
Sure.
But what this is honestly, these relationships, this is the closest I think I've ever played to myself. And especially
Yeah, I
with
would say
Travis,
the same.
this is
Yeah.
our relationship. He's my big little brother. I'm older than him, but he's definitely that voice in my life that's like, what are you doing?
Cool, you just bro.
so let's
Settle
talk
down.
for a second.
We got to talk.
What are we thinking here?
So it's really cool to naturally bring that in, and I think they started with a great framework with the characters, and they've really been cool with letting us kind of fill in the gaps.
That's
Yeah.
really cool. Well, when's Infamous Second Son come out, guys?
It's coming out soon. It's coming out in. Do we have an actual date? We don't have an
Look at
actual
him.
date.
Look at him shout off.
I'm looking before like we get boom, boom.
Yeah, exactly. I tried to
You know,
get you to leak it out.
soon enough.
It'll be. I mean, obviously, it's a next. We're doing this for the PS4, so
Yeah.
it'll be out.
In
Then.
the launch window. Not
It'll be
I
out when
heard
it's
it.
ready.
Colin Moriarty said today on a Rewind Theater, not a launch game. Coming
Launch
out
window.
sometime in Q1 2014. That's what
Right.
he thinks he heard. I don't know.
Yeah, quarter
Like I
one,
said, I was out
2014,
with Nate
right?
Fox. I don't know what
Quarter
anybody
one.
said about anything.
No.
When it's coming out.
Yeah, tell me a real release date. Don't. February, he said. There you
Yeah,
go.
February.
All right, there you go, then, ladies and
I
gentlemen.
didn't say that just in case.
No,
like,
no.
didn't show up.
No, that's fine. Some random hobo walking by this set.
July 2015. I don't know. I was
and
promised a
gentlemen,
sandwich.
it's been fun talking to these voice actors, these highfalutin Hollywood types. But Nate Fox is going to be on later to talk a little bit about the mechanics of making the game work. That'll be exciting. But gentlemen, Troy, no, we're doing this. We're doing this. Come on, you got to get in here too.
We're doing
Travis, it's been a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for coming, Troy.
Yeah, thank you.
Naomi, tell me what's going to happen next to me.
Well, a lot is going to happen, Greg. Thanks, Troy, Travis. And as a general PSA, we're going to have another look at Infamous Second Son later today, which Greg just mentioned. Check the live show schedule at e3.ign.com for further details. Okay, next up is a game that features Cat Mario. Really, do I have to say anything else? Super Mario 3D World is next.